Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chrisley knows best. Todd and Julie Chrisley returned to Mick with their podcast relaunch after prison release. Chrisley Knows Best alums Todd and Julie Chrisley scored a big podcast deal after their prison sentence. The married couple shared exciting news about returning to their original podcast. With a twist that delighted their listeners and fans, they wasted no time starting their entertainment journey again after serving a 2-year prison sentence. Julie and Todd went to interviews and showed up on Savannah's Unlocked podcast within 1 month of the presidential full pardon. Their conviction in 2023 for fraud charges led to a long wait for their children, who just sought less imprisonment. The family of 6 signed a lifetime series based on their prison life and its aftermath. Chrisley knows best. Julie, Todd, Savannah, and Nanny Faye to join poker tour. Nanny Faye, Todd, Julie, and Savannah Chrisley are all ready to be streamed on an upcoming celebrity poker game. They are more excited than ever, having announced that they are dipping their toes into a new opportunity. Celebrity Poker Tour jointly shared an Instagram post revealing the reality stars are booked for the July 25 show. The night will be very special because the Chrisleys will have a first-time experience with the game. Fans were hyped about the family's upcoming endeavors. Most of them hoped that Nanny Faye would come out as a winner. The post asked fans to wait for game night with popcorn, as it would provide them with ample entertainment. But someone reminded the family that CPT might cheat them, so they should be wary. Chrisley knows best. Julie and Todd come up with first podcast episode. Julie and Todd Chrisley officially came on as hosts in their first episode of the Chrisley Confessions 2.0 podcast on July 16. It's been 2 months since they've been in their Nashville home, where they've joked about their prison life and current lifestyle. Before their podcasting, Podcastone, a major publisher and podcast sales network, declared their return. Todd and Julie had the podcast in 2018, but the latest stint is very close to their hearts. He is back to his humor, asking his wife what her name is. He told her that he hadn't seen her in 28 months, but slept with her for the last 34 days. Later, the pair described the podcast hosting experience as quite crazy following their jail stays. However, the senior Chrisleys vowed to sprinkle seasonings to make this time unforgettable. They discussed casually how their respective fates had saved them and what their future held for them. Todd explained that a new show is on the list, and the other 3 will be picked at any time. He has worked on them behind bars. With Podcastone, Todd and Julie signed a deal allowing them to produce their show, which is the same company supporting the Unlocked podcast. As is known, the family is backing a hotel venture in South Carolina, while Savannah is eyeing a promising political future. She is running for Senate, which might gain traction. For the latest Todd and Julie's career tea, stay tuned to TV season and spoilers. After what felt like an eternity behind bars, Todd and Julie Chrisley are finally back where they belong, center stage and in front of a mic. The infamous couple, known for their southern charm, witty banter, and larger-than-life personalities, are wasting no time picking up the pieces of their public persona with the long-awaited relaunch of their podcast, now fittingly rebranded as Chrisley Unfiltered, from cell to studio. It's not just a comeback, it's a redemption tour. The opening episode. We're back, y'all. The debut episode dropped at midnight, and within hours, it skyrocketed to the top of the Apple Podcasts charts. Fans, both loyal and curious, flocked to hear what the Chrisleys had to say after their high-profile incarceration. Y'all, it's been a journey, Todd opened, his southern drawl as thick and charismatic as ever. And not the kind you see on Delta Airlines. We're talking concrete walls, cold eggs, and more drama than a Bravo reunion. Julie, ever the voice of grace and quiet strength, chimed in. We've been through fire and came out refined. Now we're here to share the truth and maybe a little tea. Listeners were glued to their speakers as the Chrisleys recounted their respective prison experiences with raw honesty and a surprising dose of humor. Todd compared his cellmate to a bootleg Tony Robbins, while Julie admitted she led a Bible study group inside that quickly became standing opportunity. Julie revealed that despite the trauma, the couple used the time to reflect, rebuild their faith, and rediscover each other in a way they hadn't in years. When everything is stripped away, your home, your privacy, even your dignity, you're left with who you really are, she shared. And Todd and I, we found our way back to love through letters, prayers, and sometimes just surviving the day. The podcast episode delved deep into the emotional toll their sentence took on their children, Savannah, Grayson, Chloe, and even estranged daughter Lindsay, who Julie said had reached out in a surprising, touching way. Todd was more cryptic, teasing that reunions and reckonings would be explored in upcoming episodes. Reclaiming the narrative, it's no secret the Chrisleys feel misrepresented by the media. With their podcast, they're seizing the chance to tell their story in their own words. There were lies. There were misconceptions. There was a whole lot of nonsense being spun by people who never sat down and had a conversation with us. Todd said, his voice cracking with emotion. This podcast? This is our truth, and we ain't sugarcoating it. Julie added that each week, they'll peel back the layers on what led to their conviction, what they've learned, and how they plan to move forward. Spiritually, emotionally, and legally. Oh, we'll get into that, Todd winked. Y'all know I can't stay quiet forever. Surprising guests and spiritual guidance. But the Chrisleys don't plan to make their podcast a weekly pity party. Future episodes will feature special guests, including prison chaplains, former inmates who found faith behind bars, and possibly even cast members from Chrisley Knows Best, some of whom are mulling over their own comebacks. Julie hinted at an episode called Faith in the Furnace, where she'll talk with a formerly incarcerated woman who became a prison counselor. Todd teased a visit from a certain Southern belle, who stood by their side through it all. Cue the speculation that this could be Savannah or even a reconciled Lindsay. We want this podcast to be about hope, Julie explained. Not just about what we've been through, but what's possible on the other side of heartbreak. A new business empire in the works. Of course, this is the Chrisleys we're talking about, never ones to let a scandal stifle their brand. In between moments of vulnerability, Todd revealed they're planning a post-prison media empire under the Chrisley Unfiltered umbrella. Podcasting is just the beginning. There's talk of a docuseries, Todd teased. A real one, not some over-edited fluff. Think the Chrisleys. Redemption and revelation. Julie also noted she's working on a devotional book for women who faced public disgrace and private despair. If God can use me, he can use anyone, she said tearfully. The public reacts. Social media lit up after the first episode. Supporters flooded the comments with messages of welcome and forgiveness. Say what you want, but Todd and Julie owned up and found God. One fan wrote on X, "I'm rooting for their comeback." Of course, skeptics remain. Some critics accuse the couple of using faith as a marketing tool, while others question the sincerity of their confessions. But if the Chrisleys are bothered by the noise, they're not showing it. We've lived under a microscope for a decade, Todd said. At this point, we've learned how to dance in the fire. Final words. The Chrisleys have only just begun. The first episode ended with Todd and Julie holding hands and praying for their listeners. No matter what you're going through, remember, it's not over, Julie said softly. You are not your worst mistake. Todd echoed, we're back, we're blessed, and we're ready to talk, so buckle up, sugar. It's gonna be one heck of a season. With that, the music swelled and the outro faded out, but the message was clear. The Chrisleys may have gone to prison, but they refused to be silenced.